Hello there folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mr. V's Voyage Through Cuisine. I'm glad you guys were with us for episode 1 where we took a look at Italy. Well, now our destination is Mexico, and we are going to arrive in Mexico and make ourselves a chicken mole. So we're going to start by getting chicken in our pot. Cook down the chicken and make ourselves a stock. So I already have some water getting to a nice simmer. So I'm going to put 2 large chicken breasts in there. I want to make sure they're covered by the water. And now I'm going to add 5 peppercorns, whole peppercorns, and some salt. Now remember, our chicken comes from Southeast Asia, our modern chicken that we eat. Peppercorns come from India, and salt comes from salt deposits worldwide. So let's make sure our chicken's in there nicely. Alright, good. Now, we're going to get to work on our mole sauce. First thing we are going to do is we are going to toss some sesame seeds, which we have right here. Now we're going to need to toss these for about 5 minutes. And our sesame seeds come to us from India, just like our peppercorns. Alright, nice dry skillet. We're going to get these in here, and we're going to toss them around for 5 minutes. So while our sesame seeds are cooking, I want to talk to us a little bit about mole. Now, the origin of the word mole is Nahuatl in origin, right? It's coming from Mexico. Now, there's much debate about the history and origin of mole. There's some folk tales that talk about it being invented by a group of nuns at a convent that had to quickly prepare for a archbishop that was arriving. There's another story that it actually goes back to the Aztecs, and that was served to Cortez by Moctezuma. There's also other stories that fall somewhere in between. But the first written mole recipe we have comes after the Mexican War for Independence in the early 1800s. So, while we don't know where mole is going to originate, we do know that it has a long history in Mexican cuisine. Now, 2 towns claim to be the originators of mole. We have Oaxaca and we have Puebla. Both of those towns compete as to who was the originator of mole. I'm not going to get into the mole war that's going on, and we're going to leave it at that. Now, there's lots of different variations of mole that come in lots of different colors: red, green, black, brown, right? And this has to do with the different parts of Mexico and different ingredients that are used. Now, for all mole, there's a rule of thumb for 3 ingredients, right? It has nuts, it has chilies, and it has fruit. And we're going to see as we combine our ingredients here that we're going to have all of these present. Alright, our sesame are getting a nice brown color on them. They're starting to toast nicely, release a lot of their fragrance. Now you got to be careful, because toasting and burning are very close to each other. We do not want to burn them. So we're going to take them out, and we're going to put them in our blender. Alright. Now we're going to take our cloves from Indonesia, our cinnamon from Southeast Asia, our anise seeds from the Mediterranean, and our coriander seeds also from the Mediterranean. Now we're going to have them toast as well. These don't need as long as our sesame seeds, probably about only 3 minutes. And again, toasting them really going to release a lot of these flavors and our oils. Once these are done, they're going to go into our blender with our sesame seed, and then eventually our other ingredients as well. Now, while we're over here, we need to reserve some of our sesame seeds for a garnish for later, that they're already toasted. So we're going to take a tablespoon, and we're going to scoop about 4 tablespoons out. Alright, and save them as a garnish for once we are done. Get back to our spices. They smell great. Now, in our pappardelle bolognese that we did in episode 1, this was something I was very familiar with, right? Italian cuisine, something I've eaten a lot, and something I've cooked a lot as well. Here on our voyage to Mexico, this is definitely outside of my comfort zone, right? Haven't cooked too much Mexican food, and I've never even eaten mole. So this is going to be an interesting experiment for me. However, just to know if I made it right or not, I am going to have a guest taster come in at the end of our video to provide some more feedback. Alright, these spices are nice and toasted, so now we're going to get them in our blender as well. A few are being stubborn. Good. Alright. Now we're going to take some canola oil from India. We're going to put some of that in a nice hot skillet. And we're going to warm that up so we can fry our chilies. Alright, our oil is hot and it's time to fry our chilies. We have 2 different types of chili. We have the guajillo chili, which is the dried version of the marisol pepper, which is the second most common dried pepper in Mexican cuisine. And we also have the Ancho chili. Now the Ancho chili is the most popular dried pepper in Mexican cuisine, and what an Ancho chili is a dried poblano pepper. Now we're going to get both of these peppers into our nice hot oil. And we're going to lightly fry these, only about 2 minutes. We're going to have to turn the fan on, so we're going to make some smoke in here. Now, these chilies have been dried, so once we toast them and fry them, we're going to have to rehydrate them, right? Put moisture back into them. Now, I've already removed the stems and the seeds from these peppers to cut down on some of that heat. Alright, flip these guys over. Peppers have me sweating in the kitchen. Alright. Almost done. Probably another minute left on these peppers. Now these peppers took me a little bit to find, especially during the pandemic that's going on. Had to go to a few different stores to locate them, but was finally able to track them down at Wegmans for those of you that want to make this for yourself at home. Right? These peppers, they come dried in bags, just like this. Our ancho and our guajillo chilies. Alright. Alright, they're about to be done. So we're going to take our chili peppers out now, and we are going to put them in a bowl of hot water to help rehydrate them. And they're going to be in this hot water for about 30 minutes. All right. And we will come back when these chilies are ready to go. We'll toast a few more spices, and then we will be able to start blending our sauce together. All right, everyone, 30 minutes have passed. Our chilies have been soaking. It is now time to take them out of our water and put them in our blender with our spices. Now they're not hard and crunchy anymore. They're nice and soft. Alright, now there's still more ingredients that need to go into our sauce. That's one of the things about mole that a lot of people say, is that it is a lot of ingredients and it is very labor intensive. Which is why some people think that origin theory about the nuns in the coven just throwing this together seems kind of unlikely. Alright, make sure we get them all out of here. Perfect. So, now that we've gotten them all out, we've got a few more ingredients left to toast. So we've got that same oil that our peppers were fried in. We're going to add some raisins. Again, raisins are coming to us from the Mediterranean. We've got some pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds come to us from North America. We have some almonds. Almonds from the Middle East. Now these almonds, they came with the skin on, so I had to blanch them. That is putting them into boiling water for 1 minute to remove the skin. Pops right off, super easy. And then I put in some corn tortillas, torn up, brought to us from Mexico. So I've got this all in my oil, and I want these to get a nice brown color, about 2 minutes. Again, don't want anything to burn, but we want to get them nice and brown in our oil. All right. These are going to go into our blender too, so I'm going to pat some things down a little bit to make some room. Now, also, while the peppers were done, I had also taken our chicken that was in our water. Alright, it's got a nice white color, smells very nice and flavorful. Now, that cooking stock that the chicken came with, right? You don't want to get rid of that. You want to make sure you save it because you're going to need to add it to your mole in order to thicken it. So make sure you hold on to that chicken stock. I've already got some set aside in a cup over here that's going to go into the blender eventually, and then the rest of it I'm going to have to save for when we're reducing down our mole down the road. Things are starting to get nice and brown. Our raisins, because we're adding moisture, they're starting to rehydrate themselves, starting to pop a little bit. Now, we still have a long process left on this mole. We've already been cooking for over an hour, and we still probably have about an hour left to go. So, this is not one of your 30-minute meals. You gotta really have the day set aside to make a dish like this. Alright, we've got that going for about 2 minutes. Now this is going to go into the blender. Everything, even the oil, is going to go into the blender. You can really smell those corn tortillas that have been fried. Alright, so everything is in our blender. Make sure that latch is closed. We don't want anything making a mess. Get it on here. Just want to cooperate right now. There we go. All right. And let's give it a little pulse. start to break everything down. Now, we're gonna need to add some of our chicken cooking liquid to this, right? Because right now we have a paste and we need a sauce. So we'll add about a cup. Give it another pulse. Alright, let's add another half a cup. Give it some more pulsing. Alright, and let's add the remainder of our chicken stock, coming to about 2.5 cups in total. And let's get it blending. Alright, let's take a look. Needs a little bit more, still not very smooth yet. Whoa, got a little splash on us. Alright, perfect, that should be good. Let's get this cleaned up. I'll clean out our pot, and then we're going to start to reduce down our sauce. Alright, now it's time to fry our sauce. We're going to take our sauce out of the blender, put it into a pan, medium to high heat with the remainder of our oil. Alright, got to stir frequently. It's nice and hot. Got some flare-ups. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes. Still got a little more left in our blender. Alright, we're doing this to help thicken our sauce before we start to reduce it down. In the back half of our Molay here, a lot of different flavor profiles going on. Reduce the heat a little bit. Again, guys, I'm not sure how this is supposed to taste. That's why we're going to have our guest expert taste tester come on at the end of this video to give me some more insight. Because again, this is a voyage. And part of going on a voyage is to go to some new unexplored places. Alright, we're going to let this reduce down for 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to simmer it down. Alright, now it's time to add our chicken cooking liquid to our sauce. About 4 cups of it. Perfect. Now we're going to let this simmer on low for about 20 minutes until it starts thickening up. Perfect. So we've had our sauce reducing down for about 20 minutes. Now it's time to add a key ingredient in our mole, which is our Mexican chocolate. Now, chocolate in the Mexican variety is different than a lot of us would know it. Not something a lot of us would eat. It's darker chocolate, more bitter. Also, Mexican chocolate is 100% gluten-free and vegetarian. And vegan, for that matter. Now, this is because this chocolate contains no milk, right? Remember, the Mexicans did not have milk until the arrival of Europeans. But Mexican chocolate itself dates all the way back to the Olmecs. Alright, added one circle, add another one, grate some of the pieces up. Alright. Now we're going to have to reduce this down for another 20 minutes and mix in all of this chocolate. And then we'll almost be ready to eat. So our sauce has been reducing for about an hour now. It needed a little longer to get some of that moisture out and thicken up. So I'm going to put our pre-cooked chicken into the sauce, warm it up a little bit. So we have here next to me my brother, who's going to be our expert taster. Now, he has eaten Molay before. He's got a little bit of background. He himself is a Spanish teacher, so he is familiar with Latin cuisine. So he can give me an honest opinion, because I really have no idea what to expect. Alright, so I've got our chicken and our Molay on the plate. Take some of our reserve toasted sesame, sprinkle that on top, and here we go.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks
like
the
Molay.
pictures that I've seen. So let's give it a taste. Alright. So what do you think?
Has a lot of the flavors that Molay has. You can taste the sesame seeds. You can taste all the different things that Molay traditionally has. Chocolate.
I was expecting it to be spicier.
I would say this isn't the spiciest Molay I've had. The heat's very mild, but it's good.
Alright.
I would say it's the best Molay made by a non-Hispanic person that I've ever had.
Alright, well, I'll take it. So, thank you guys for being with us on this voyage to Mexico, and I can't wait for our next voyage through cuisine. Thank you guys.
Adios.